All right, we're jumping right into it today, tackling the elephant in the enterprise AI room. We're talking about why so many of these ambitious AI projects are just failing. We've looked into the research, and trust me, the answer is probably not what you're expecting.
So let's start with a number that should really make you sit up straight: 95%. According to MIT, that's the percentage of enterprise generative AI pilots that fail to deliver any measurable impact. Just think about that for a second. All that money, all that time and talent, for pretty much nothing. What in the world is going on here?
Now, your first thought might be, okay, is it the model? Is the tech just not sophisticated enough? But the answer is a hard no. It has nothing to do with how fancy your model is. The problem, the real reason for failure, happens way, way earlier. It happens before your model ever sees a single byte of data. And this leads us to what you could call the AI investment paradox. There's this massive disconnect, right? Companies are pouring in cash, but the results just aren't there. So let's dive into what's really happening.
Okay, here's a number from Gartner that's going to make your jaw drop. $12.9 million. That's the average annual cost of poor data quality for a company. And you know, when you start throwing AI into that mix, that number doesn't just go up a little bit, it explodes.
And the damage, well, it goes way beyond just your wallet. It hits your projects, it crushes your team's morale, and it creates this vicious cycle of failed initiatives. You lose trust, adoption stalls, and the whole thing just grinds to a halt.
So, if it's not the model, then what is the true cause behind this whole AI crisis? Well, it turns out the real culprit has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. It's your data. But hold on. When we say data quality, we're not just talking about cleaning up a messy database. This is a much bigger conversation. This is fundamentally an engineering and an architecture challenge. It's about building the actual foundation that lets AI systems think clearly, act safely, and grow predictably. And why is this so urgent right now? Because the stakes are getting higher, like really fast. We're moving beyond AI that just analyzes things to AI agents that actually do things. Look at this. Adoption is basically quadrupled in just 2 quarters. That's a whole new ballgame. And as these agents get more and more common, guess what? KPMG reports that a staggering 82% of organizations now say that data quality concerns are their #1 barrier to scaling AI. It's the biggest roadblock by far.
All right, so that brings us to the real question. Is your organization at risk? Let's do a quick diagnostic. I'm going to ask 5 questions, and I want you to be really honest about the answers.
Question number 1. Can you actually follow a piece of data on its entire journey? I mean, from the moment it's created all the way to the point where your AI uses it. If you can't, you're essentially flying blind when something goes wrong.
Second, are you automatically catching issues like data drift before they turn into a huge business problem? Or are you just waiting for things to break?
Third one, does your data have a consistent language, a dictionary that everyone uses? Or is your poor AI trying to make sense of total chaos, where different systems are all saying different things?
Number 4, and this is a big one. If something goes wrong, and it will, can you prove what happened? Can you show exactly what data the AI looked at and why for governance and compliance?
And finally, are you actually protected? Do you have real guardrails to stop an AI agent from causing a massive data leak or some other incident?
So here's the bottom line. If you hesitated on any of those questions, if you couldn't give a clear yes to all 5, then your AI strategy is built on a really weak foundation. You're at an elevated risk, and that's putting it mildly. Now, let's get specific. What are the actual mistakes that turn that risk into a full-blown failure? Let's look at the patterns that show up in almost every collapsed AI initiative. And here they are. You can think of them as the 8 deadly sins of data. From siloed data and makeshift pipelines to just having zero governance, these are the things that are absolutely killing AI strategies out there. Okay, I know that list can feel a little overwhelming. But here's the good news, and it's really good news. All of these mistakes are completely avoidable. This isn't magic. It's just about applying good, solid engineering discipline. And this right here, this really illustrates the huge shift we're talking about. We have to move from the old way of doing things, you know, the way we built things for static business reports, to a new dynamic architecture that's actually built for AI from the ground up. So here's a simple checklist you can take back to your team. Focus on these 3 things: automated quality, a robust architecture, and absolutely airtight governance. If you can hit these success metrics, you are in a much better place.
Ultimately, what we've learned is that success isn't really about the model at all. It's about the foundation. You have to build on solid ground, or the whole thing is just going to collapse as soon as it hits the real world. It's that simple.
Which leaves us with this final critical question. The question leaders need to ask in 2026 isn't should we be investing in AI? That ship has sailed. The real question is, have we built the data foundation that AI actually requires to succeed? That's the question you need to answer before you invest another single dollar.